خیلی خوش اومدید به آنالیز تاکتیکی. من معمار نوپسندم. این اپیزود ما یه مصاحبه خیلی جذاب داشتیم با آقای ادموند کلاوس، مدیر آکادمی آژاکس. حالا میشه گفت مدیر سابق آکادمی آژاکس. یکی دو ماهیه اومدن بیرون بعد از 15-16 سال که اونجا فعالیت میکردن، چه به عنوان بازیکن، چه به عنوان مربی پایه ها، چه مربی گلرها. من خودم شخصا سعادتی بوده برام. خیلی خوشحالم که بارها با ایشون صحبت کردم، چیزی یاد گرفتم و فارغ از جایگاهی که دارن، ایشون مثلا مدرس یوفا هستن. واسه من خیلی افتخار بود که وقتی بهشون گفتم که میخوایم یه مصاحبه داشته باشیم واسه ایرانیا، چون که خیلی دغدغه آموزش دارن، دانش افزایی دارن، خیلی سریع قبول کردن و ما یه مصاحبه باشون ضبط کردیم که در 2 بخش منتشر میشه. راجع به چجور بازیکن میسازن، چی کار میکنن، مربی‌ها چه شکلی نگاه میکنن، حتی راجع به فوتبال ایران رو ازشون پرسیدم، شرایط فوتبال ایران رو گفتم و خب توصیه‌های جالبی داشتن. در کل اپیزود خیلی خوبی شد. امیدوارم که راضی باشید و خوشتون بیاد. I remind you last night because of Gerald Hatto, his play against his former team.
Yeah.
I think you once mentioned him that and you rated so highly.
Yeah.
How good is he?
I think it's a very good player for the left fullback, left center defense. He's still very young. I think he's 18 or maybe 19 at the moment.
Yeah,
19, maybe 18, 19 already.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but I think at this age, playing on those positions, because most of the time you see young players coming into a squad, and then most of the in big squads like Premier League clubs, then most of the time it are attackers and not the defenders.
Yeah.
It's because defending, goalkeeping is most of the time asking a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And attackers are more, let's say, creative and playing from their heart, and they let's say, opportunistic is maybe not the right word, but it's easier, I think, for an attacker to get on that level than a defender or goalkeeper. So actually yesterday Ajax got punished by Chelsea in the Championship really hard.
That red card ruined the game, I think.
That, and Ajax is not in a good shape. I think already 2-3 years. Like last year under Farioli was coach. It was in results, it was doing better, but it was not playing in our typical home style. And this year they wanted to do let's say get the same results, but then in the more specific Ajax playing style. But they don't have the right players at the moment to do it, at least not in games against Chelsea or Inter Milan or Olympic.
Yeah. I'm a Liverpool fan, and our former assistant manager is now your head coach. What do you think about Hettinga? I think, is this a good manager?
But look, it's a good guy. I worked with him. It's a very nice person. It's a hard-working guy. He has done great things as a player. So he has the player's experience, but he doesn't have the coach experience yet on this professional level. And then if you go to a club where there is a lot of experienced players, or where there's a really balanced squad, and it is on let's say on the management level, on the board level, it's all peace and stable. But he comes in a club, it's not stable anywhere. It's not stable in the squad. It's not stable in the board. It's not it's not stable in the club at all. And then I think then it's becoming very difficult for a coach to be successful. And then, if the results are not there, then the crowd is having his opinion, and the press is gonna write things. So he's in. It's difficult for him now, but hopefully he will get a little bit more time, and he can change it.
Yeah, I think you are value and mention a lot about football club philosophy or Ajax philosophy. Is that think represent Ajax philosophy?
Yeah, that he is definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
and but to play attacking and to play with a lot of space in your back, and when you want to have the ball and to dominate the game, and be creative, that demands a lot from your tactical qualities of your players, and also of your technical qualities of your players, and also of their experience as players. So that all has to come together, and at this moment it doesn't come together. So I think it's the most difficult way to play, to have the ball, to dominate the game, to let's say to how do you say that, to
dominate the game.
To give the other team constantly a problem by making choices, and they constantly have to adapt to your specific qualities. But if you cannot bring the opponent in making those, having to make those choices, then you play far away from your own goal with a lot of space behind, and the defenders are not having the quality to play one-on-one really well. Then you get trouble.
I think let's jump to questions, if you're okay. Actually, I have an introduction and biography from you from the first of this podcast, but I want to know, how did your journey in football begin, and how do you get involved with Ajax? It is Ajax or Ajax?
It's up to you. I call it Ajax.
Okay.
Ajax. And actually the name of the club, it's they always say it's a Greek god, Ajax, but it's not. It's a war hero from the Greek history.
Wow.
So the let's say the logo of the club, that is the face of the Greek war hero.
Actually, I like that the previous logo. That was very, very nice. The new one.
The new one is actually the old one.
Yeah.
No, so I can explain how I always loved football. As young as I was always busy with the ball, and finally I became goalkeeper already when I was young. So I was a goalkeeper, and on a certain moment I came in a professional. At that time it was not that professional like it is nowadays, but for a professional club, HFC Haarlem, I was going into the youth academy there, and also selected for the regional and national selections. And then finally, when I was 23, I was already a senior player. I was playing for amateurs at that time. I was picked by Ajax to become the third goalkeeper for the professional side. And that was in 1993, 1994. So actually, I was very lucky that I came from the amateurs into the professional football, and then at Ajax, and then at the time, as in like 1994, they won the Champions League.
Wow.
It was fantastic experience
Wow.
for me
I
to be
didn't know
part of
that. Wow.
Yeah. So I was not part of. At that time, you had a squad with 2 goalkeepers, and then the second squad also had 2 goalkeepers, and I was the number 1 of the second squad.
Wow.
But you were still training together sometimes, or I have been some matches on the bench. I've been with training camps and things like that. So it was really nice, like for a young guy to enter the professional football like that. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah,
experience.
I thought I have a guess that you are a defender, you know. Now I found out you're a goalkeeper. Okay.
Yeah, they always say that they're the goalkeepers and the left wingers. They are always crazy. Yeah, in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
team there are 2 crazy guys. That's the left winger and the goalkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it like working inside one of the best academies in the world?
Yeah, I always say it. I'm 56 now, and when I entered Ajax as a player, I was 23, 24, and then let's say in that period, it shaped me as a professional because working in a club with such good coaches around you, with high level players. First as a player, and later I stayed in the club after I stopped playing for Ajax. I stayed in the club as coach, as goalkeeper coach, and later as a team coach and as manager. And so I worked with the best, in my opinion, some of the best people in football, and they shaped me in my vision and in my behavior, like the professional I am now. So how it is, it's demanding because you have to uh, get to that standard as well, and you have to, if you work or play at Ajax, you need to get to the standard what is required, and that is a high standard, a very high standard in everything. But yeah, you also learn so much from the best, in the best facilities, with the best players, with the best coaches around you. Yeah, so I feel very, very lucky that I've been that I had the chance to be there.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's also nice to say, um, at the time that I was asked for Ajax, I was also asked for 2 other professional clubs in Holland. I could sign a full-time contract both of those professional clubs. And at Ajax, they didn't pay me a full-time contract, so it was money-wise really less than the others.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to go to Ajax because money is not everything. So I wanted to look in the kitchen of that
Yeah.
talent factory. So
Yeah.
that was more value than any money in the world.
I think I think you love your jobs. I think it is my perception because
Yeah.
once I remember that you have a wall behind of you and you have all of those pictures of your
Oh yeah.
talents, and that was a great picture. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was, I think, at the time that I was in my office at Ajax,
yeah.
and then all the players who made their debut in the period that I was working there, that if they make their debut, they get a picture on that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty picture. I like that. Uh, can you share a memorable story or lesson from your time
Yeah.
developing young player at the Ajax?
Yeah, I saw the question, and I thought, what would I say? I've seen so many players going through the ranks, but there were 2 moments or two players that I worked with that really changed my view on youth development.
Wow.
Or actually, by reflecting afterwards, it changed my own philosophy. So I'm gonna give you the two stories. One,
Okay.
I don't know if you know the name Gregory van der Wiel.
What?
Gregory, yeah, it's a difficult name. Van der Wiel. He played for Ajax. He played for Paris Saint-Germain, and he was in the Dutch national team in the World Cup final against Spain in 2010, I think. He was the right fullback.
Gregory?
Van der
Gregor.
Wiel. Van der Wiel.
Van der
This is
Wiel.
his surname.
I think. Okay.
Okay. This player, when I was sent by Ajax to Haarlem, my own, doesn't matter. I live in Haarlem, and this is the professional club I played for in the academy. I became the head of the youth for that club, and we had a cooperation with Ajax. And sometimes players from Ajax who could not stay in the Ajax academy for reasons of development or sometimes behavior. They went to go to Haarlem, and then they could try to get back to Ajax. So they get more or less a second chance at Haarlem, and still stayed in contact with Ajax. Gregory van der Wiel, he had to leave Ajax, but not because he was a bad player. He was a very good player, but it has to do with his attitude, his behavior.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, and but actually he's a nice guy. He's a very good guy. But okay, for coaches, sometimes he was very difficult. And at Haarlem, we could become. He was playing in the team that I was also coaching, the under 17, and he was by far my best player. And for Haarlem, that was a very small club. We were on the top of the log, and we could promote, or maybe we could promote to the highest division of Holland. And for Haarlem, that was really, really big. Then, but I needed Gregory because he was my best player. But Gregory was too good. He was much better than all the players in my squad. He was much better than all the players of the opponents we played against. So he didn't get challenged at the end of the season by playing in that squad. He needed to play in the under 19, or maybe already in the reserve team, or maybe he could already play in the first team.
Wow.
But I didn't let him go to the higher team because I wanted to have him play for the under 17 because we want to become champion. And then he came to me and he asked for it. He said, Coach, I don't get motivated by being in the under 17. I need to go to a higher level. I need to get challenged. So he came to me. And then I said, yeah, okay, we will see. Maybe first we have some matches still with the team, and then maybe later. But we didn't. It took time before we could really play for the championship. And then he gonna show me in training sessions that he was the best. So he got the ball. He never gave the ball back to others anymore. So he dribbled over the whole pitch and scored a goal.
Wow.
And yeah, it's so special. So this was the amount of quality. So he told me not by words, but by showing on the pitch, hey, coach, you have to act now. I need to go up. I'm too good for this.
Wow.
But I kept him in my team. And then finally, in the last match where we played for the championship against Groningen, then we lost the game. And he didn't really showed his best. So he was, let's say, he was angry at me that he didn't got the chance on the higher level. And then later I was thinking, okay, actually the quality of this player, I made it more important for myself, for the team, to keep him in my team to get results. But finally, it ended up in having no results.
Yeah.
And he was disappointed, and he didn't get the right resistance. So I stole some of his development options. And then later I reflected to myself and I thought, oh, I didn't do this well. And I think 4 years ago, he came at Ajax and we spoke about it. And then he said, yes, I was really angry at you in this situation. And that showed me that you, as a coach, you must always look to what is the best for the individual player, what is best for the individual talent. And yes, of course, you can have a team goal, but make him part of your team goal.
Yeah.
And if he needs higher resistance to get challenged and he cannot commit to your team goal, then don't push it. Just give the player the chance and maybe get him back once you have really an important game. Discuss with him and maybe bring him only back for that game. So look to the player and make the individual talent the central point and not winning your game or the need of, let's say, the desire you have as a coach to be successful.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Because I interview a lot with guys like you or Olympic Lyon or Mr. Yagovinia, and all of them prioritize development to getting result. All of them saying that developing a player is much important than just to have a good result. And that's a very good story. I like it.
But sometimes it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because that's why I say sometimes you for let's say for my team, if we could have promoted to the highest level, then the next year all of the players of that squad would have fantastic matches.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also important to try to get that result.
Yeah. But with what
it
cost?
cannot be exactly. It cannot be on the cost of an individual.
Yeah.
Then you have to make him part of your ID, part of your plan, part of the team goal. And if he commits, there's no problem. But if you feel this is not the best for him or he is struggling to commit, then you have to find other ways and don't make it the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is a good question. In your opinion, what's make Ajax Academy to constantly successful in the producing player?
Yeah. So I think Ajax has always been a good youth academy, producing a lot of players. Why? Because first they attract good players.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ajax wants to have but nowadays the competition becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in Holland, and also in Europe. So it becomes more and more difficult to get the best players to your club. But we were always able to find the best players to come to our club. And with best players, I don't mean the players where everybody says it's the best, but the best players who fit in our way of playing.
Yeah.
Because if you want to build up from the back like we want at Ajax, I need, for example, a goalkeeper who is good with his feet. So another goalkeeper who is very good in shot stopping but cannot play with his feet, then that will give problems in the way we want to play.
But I have a little question. Can we develop these weaknesses of this goalkeeper? Can we train with them?
To a certain extent. But I think there it also comes to why Ajax is a good producing a lot of players to the first team, because the way in nowadays it's a little bit changing, but in the past we were always playing a certain way of playing style with our first team, and our academy was completely lined up to produce players who can play in that style of playing.
Wow.
And in order to develop those players who can play in the first team that specific way of playing, not only in technique but also in understanding that game, but also have the flair and the guts to play with play attacking and to take risks and things like that. That is something what is already happening in the development in the academy. So first, find the right players, the players that can fit your playing style, and good scouts and good coaches, they can look to players. The younger they get, the more difficult it becomes to judge if a player has the potential to grow. And that has to do with your physical possibilities, but it also has a lot to do with your learning abilities.
Mm.
So you cannot, if you scout a player and see him once or twice playing and then you think, do I need to bring him in? You don't know his learning abilities.
Mhm.
So you find out when a player is in your academy.
Yeah.
But okay, so having the best players, having coaches who can teach the players on the certain different age groups the right things. And so on the 8 or on the 10 or on the 12, you are teaching different things than under 16 or under 18. But it all is part of the curriculum towards developing towards the first team. So I think so. You need the coaches who need to do who need to be able to do it, but also understand the club and the culture of the club.
Yeah.
Then there is one philosophy. So one philosophy: have the best players, have the right coaches, and give the players the right competition structure and the competition moments that they can develop, because you can only develop if you get the right resistance to develop.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
there is no resistance, you will not develop.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
always win matches with 10-0.
Yeah.
How do you get challenged?
Yeah.
Only when you get challenged you develop.
Yeah. But
So
I
yeah.
think two things. I understand that there's a hierarchy, and all of teams in Ajax play the same way. Why this is important? How this system? Uh, and the first things that come to my mind is the adaptation time is lower because
Mm.
under 70, under 50, under 30, all of them play in the same way. Why this is important?
Yeah. Maybe I need to explain also what I mean with the same way, because you can say we play 1-4-3-3 and we have wing attackers and we play always with four in the back, but that is formation. If I say playing the same way, then I mean
Game
in the
model.
football. No, in the football values.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So it's
okay.
even a level higher, because if you only play in one formation and exactly one style of play and one game model, then you learn only to play in that way of playing,
Mm,
of in that and you develop players, yes, for your first team. But in the past it was clear Ajax was always playing like this, but now Farioli was playing different than Sean Heitinga now, is different than playing Ten Hag before. So football is also changing, and after Ajax, players also need to be able to play in other clubs. So you also need to learn them to teach them to be adapt, adaptive to different ways of playing. So if you go on the level of football values, that means that you want to play attacking, that your position play has a big dominance. You need to want to have a technical superiority. You want to be able that your players are tactically able to adapt to different situations, that they can read the game. So, and that they are able to use their own strengths and their own strong points, but also the strong points of their teammates,
Yeah.
and recognize the strong points of the opponent and also the weaknesses of the opponent, so that they can take profit of it. Um, yeah. So it's not one
Way.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I have a question. I have so many questions, but I can't skip this. Can we develop and develop a player or working in this ecosystem of players without scouting? Because in here in Iran, we don't have a scouting. Uh, we have some trials, 1 week trials or daily trials. All the players, young players comes and we just observe them and pick best of them. And can we develop uh, a football club without scouting?
Yeah, I don't know the situation in Iran, but in Holland, for example, we have people can sign up for a club, a football club, or they can sign up for a tennis club, or they can sign up for a volleyball club. So they can choose whatever sport they like, and then the parents, they pay a little bit of yeah, we call it contribution, so a little bit of fee for, let's say, that they can train and play there for the whole year, and the club uses that money to pay the coaches a little bit, to rent the pitch and things like that. But that's amateur level.
Yeah,
And then the professional academies, they are scouting, and they gonna look to those clubs, and they also have some trials, those special days where players can sign up to show their talents in that club, and then the professional clubs, they pick the best players and bring them in their own academy. In that academy, the players don't pay for a year of football, because the club wants the players to develop well, so they can go to the first team, so they don't need to buy players. And if they are really good, maybe they can sell them, like Joel
yeah,
Hato to Chelsea. So that's maybe a different concept than in Iran, because I don't
yeah.
know if you have the amateur league, for
Yeah,
example.
we have the first section of uh, your uh, talking. We have those. We can sign up to any
Okay.
clubs and any sports. It is okay, but we don't have scouts who travel and observe and follow up some players. No, we don't have this.
No.
Uh, so let's go to another
Well,
question.
maybe, but I don't know if it's part of it should be part of the podcast. But I can imagine that if you have a, let's say, a professional academy, or an academy who wants to raise the players for their first team. Hey, I saw there was one club, for example, with a budget
بودجهتون چقدر بوده؟ چقدر مصوب شده؟
بودجه مصوب ما 2000 میلیارد تومان.
آخه
Yeah,
for 20 million
yeah,
dollar or
Euro.
euro, okay, and they have the first team and also the academy, but finally they can make profit out having
Yeah,
a good academy, and then maybe other clubs want to cooperate with them and giving them maybe their best players, and if those best players go into the first team, maybe they can play, let's say, a friendly game, or they get some money from the club, or I think you can think of a structure
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you
That's all I'm
work.
saying in here. Can you believe that, Mr. Kalaus? Because uh, that club that I mentioned, that who has a 20 million euros per
Yeah,
season, that's a top club. Okay, other
yeah,
clubs have 4 to 8, 9
yeah,
million euros. But I always saying that if you develop some player like Allahi or Sayed Manish, one young
yeah,
player in here, he'd play, I think, 15, 20 matches for Istiklal, and they sell them for 1 million euros after
yeah,
playing 6 months. And
yeah.
this ecosystem is much, much better and profitable for us.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I think so. This is how it works. Yeah,
Because in here we don't have a club to club transfers. We have,
no,
but it is not. It's a 1 year contract for older player, and I think these ecosystem is not right. So as we mentioned Iran, I have some question about our country and our academies.